Yes. Wonderful. Okay. So, we last left our game at the end of a ball that went rather dramatically unexpected for Alatea and Adalbert, among other people. We are now at the beginning of a new cycle of play. So, we're going to start with a new novel chapter. Do we want this to be visitation, event? What do we think?
I think visitation.
Yeah, I think visitation makes sense. So, what kind of scenes do we want to see in this novel chapter? Let's put together a list.
I think that Titus needs to have a ghostly encounter with his mentor.
Oh, another one. Yeah.
I think that I think we need something that shakes our little Titus up a bit.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Don't
I
we?
meant to write
We-
this thing. Yes,
knew I
yes,
was
you
forgetting
do.
something.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
We all deserve it.
We all deserve
can-
to be. Well, actually, I prefer my drama on the page. I don't actually need drama in my own life, but drama in Titus's
Exactly.
life.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Very
I
good.
had this exact conversation last night, saying I'm a bookworm. I don't actually have all this going on in my life. I sit at home and I read and drink my tea.
Something
Yes,
we had
that's
discussed
good.
in the Storybrewers server in passing, but I think is actually quite a good idea, is introducing Hercule Roy now.
Yeah, no, I was going to
via
say that.
Adalbert going to him. Like, there's some weird supernatural things happening, but also I'm in personal crisis. Help me.
I am so ready.
Okay, so Adalbert and Hercule.
We're all ready. We all really want to see that.
What else are we interested in seeing?
When
There's
our Kaya gets... Go ahead.
Huh?
You
I
first.
think there's space for a conversation between Casimir and Titus about something, but I'm not quite
Okay.
sure what.
I also want to talk poison with Titus.
Aw,
Okay, Titus is
Titus
popular
gets to
this
talk to
chapter.
dead people and live people.
Okay.
So
Yes.
fun.
And a werewolf, technically speaking.
I think this session might end with us hiring Titus as our gardener, is how this is going to go.
Can we? Please?
Oh, right. Terrible idea. I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Let me put this in a
think-
more coquettish way. Please, brother.
No.
I think.
Wait, on the air. Overrided.
I'm looking at connections we haven't seen yet, and trying to think about this. We still don't have a description for Phineas Holloway, counselor to the
Oh,
governor.
God, yeah. Honestly, I'm fine without him.
We can ditch that connection if you want.
Yeah, I can just give myself a more interesting, different connection.
Okay. It seems like we're not heading in that sort of political intrigue direction.
That's fine.
Um,
Turns out we're actually doing a family drama on purpose.
yeah. And like, societal stuff can be part of family drama, but it maybe not in that way.
Yeah. No.
I think it could be of interest to get another visit from Maître Le Duc after Alatea has embarrassed the estate so much, because Gaspard is still holding the reins for a lot of stuff. Like, things are being transferred to you. Things are not fully over to you yet. So I think a scene where Gaspard is coming by and saying, you know, I can give this to someone else, sort of thing.
Yes, give me ammo. I love and I told you so.
So I think having
You just wait. I'm sorry.
We had wanted the house to be spookier, right? We had wanted
Yes.
like the actual house to be, and we have a treasure to
Right.
yeah,
look for.
we should do that in this
And we have a
session as
dead
well.
sister.
So
Oh yeah,
I think,
no, that is another scene that needs to happen. Is me
I think-
visiting Aletta's grave.
I think
Oh yes!
Aletta-
Oh, that was such a good idea.
Aletta's probably buried on the estate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
I think in the letter
It's in
you
the
like
letter that
describe exactly where in the garden she's buried.
okay, so we can do spooky things with Aletta. All right, I think this is a good list for us to start out. What of these things in the list do you want to see first?
Where is this list?
It's in the comments. I meant to put it in the private chat.
Okay. Oh no, our YouTube viewers can see all our plans.
Oh no.
All right.
Well, I mean, I think that starting with the visit to the grave, maybe,
Okay.
right?
That would
Yeah.
be helpful.
I can see that.
So let's set the scene. What is the occasion for you to visit her grave? Is it the anniversary of her death?
My
is
sister
it-
was
is it
mean
her
to me about
birthday?
it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we had an epistolary thing in 24/7 where
I meant to respond to those
Uh,
letters, and I just
I
slipped my mind. I'm
I
sorry,
meant
y'all.
to write any letters at all, and then
Right?
this week happened. Oh well.
It's the way it goes.
Adelbert
It's all
doesn't know how
good.
to write.
That's okay. I sent you some pretty intense letters that I don't think he would have responded to,
Yeah.
especially since one was not intended to actually go to him. So that's why I
Yes.
think I need a scene with Adelbert.
Yeah. Oh, Alatea and Adelbert scene?
Yeah.
Okay, we can loop that in somewhere. So, is it just Casimir going to the grave, or is Alatea with you?
Up to you.
Up to Roz or up to me?
Up to you,
Okay.
Isabel.
I'm-
Sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'm good. I sure.
All right.
I was insinuating that it would be during tea time with Vesperine, but you
No, that can
I'm
work. We
good.
can do that.
We could do other for away.
Yeah, no, honestly, they're both good options.
There might be more because there might be more in it if Aletia is with you.
Well, yeah, 'cause then all the
Then-
ghost shit's free.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
mostly free.
There we go. Mostly free. Possession is, well, I guess not free for, but I'll let you possess me. It's fine.
No. Well,
Anyway.
I wasn't even thinking possess. I was just thinking that it gives you someone to talk to who's alive.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's all
no.
I was thinking of.
Kind of important.
Someone
Anyway.
could. I will.
I
I
got
will
tokens.
also
I'll
take
use
a
my tokens
monologue
so that
token
Casimir
for
can
this,
see me.
Yeah.
So the two of you are going to visit Aletta's grave on the estate. Set the scene for us.
Okay.
What's
First
the
question,
mood like?
How did Aletta die?
Alethea is not certain, but
Okay.
Aletta was found dead next to them. And there's no real indication. There were bruises on both of them, but it's not like something that you could tell, I suppose.
How long
and there was no-
ago did this happen?
I would say right before Aletta left. I mean, Aletia left. Of course, Aletta left. She's dead. I need a more concrete.
I mean, like
Maybe
a
she
number.
never left.
I'm asking about like number of years ago.
I would say, let's say 3 years.
Okay.
I'm 24. That still makes the relationship with Adelbert solid.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All
that
right.
works.
But there's no discoloration on the lips that would indicate poison, which is confusing. But like that's something that Aletia has questioned because they know poison. The grave is what Aletia did tend to. It's amongst the family plot, and it's hidden towards the back, so no one can visit unless Aletia wants them to, really. And there's vines everywhere, choking different stones, and the trees provide enough shade. So it's hard to find unless you're family.
Shall I bring flowers? Do you have recommendations?
I told you to wait until I was gone. But considering you'd probably get lost even with that nose of yours.
Well, our
Go
garden has
for-
gone untended.
I wasn't here.
Or was
I
I?
hadn't intended to be. I would say some lupine flower. That is not meant as a joke. She liked the grape smell. And some.
Very well.
She has plenty of chrysanthemum.
For her, I shall bear it.
Hmm.
And
So you're actually going.
Of
Sorry,
course.
go ahead, brother.
No, I am going. I wish I didn't need your help to wayfind, but I do think it's high time that I made my first visit.
I wish you didn't need to find her, too. However, that is what it is. You made your choices. And you are not with us. Come, brother. I'll show you.
Of course.
And they hold out their hands and wait for you to place yours in theirs. If he's going to do it.
I am.
It's fine too.
I am.
Okay. Instead of Aletia linking arms with you, she's going to make you link with her. I feel like
take that.
Aletia has been like, I'm wearing my big kid pants, okay? Sorry, what was that?
Huh? No, it's fine.
What did you say?
I said we take that. We'll take that.
So I think that now we're walking through, we've already collected the lupine flowers.
Sure.
And takes a little bit of winding through the overgrowth.
Yes.
There's a bit of a trampled path that you could tell skirts have gone through, but it hasn't been otherwise taken care of. But you can tell from the way that it's walked that Aletia has walked there maybe hundreds of times since coming back.
Hmm.
I suppose now
Question.
you're going to answer. Sorry, go ahead.
Question. What does Aleta's grave marker look like?
So this is 1800s.
No, this is 1780s.
18th century, sorry.
Yeah.
My brain was going through grave markers in my head.
You're good.
So it would have a death head on top of it.
And would that be
instead
a
of
bust? Or would that just be a...
It would be one of those that go like this, and it looks
Okay.
like a slate marker. It would have flourishing engravings with the markings that don't read very well after being weathered for hundreds of years, but now they're prominent. And in the place of a skull is an hourglass instead. And it's tilted in a weird way. And at the base of the inscription, it says, "I am waiting and watching for you." I imagine you have many questions.
No, it's not the time for questions, and therefore another visit that I'll have to make back here. But I know the way now.
At that moment, Aletia smells, despite the chrysanthemums and the other flowers that are around, she smells the faintest hint of roses.
They cringe, they recoil, and ever so slightly their hand that's placed over Casimir's tightens just a little.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees the faintest form of her sister in her nightshirt, in her, how was she found?
Chemise.
In her chemise.
Nightgown, chemise.
Yeah,
Yep.
in her chemise. Almost at one with the vines that are entwining the trees near her grave. And Aletta says, "Tell him to come back soon."
They're thinking in their head, "I'll tell him if you come back soon." But it's mocking. It's angry. It's hurt. And they just...
Casimir is on his knees in front of the grave. Not quite praying, but just silent, eyes even with the hourglass. There is so much tragedy in this family.
Yes.
The most we can do is remember that is the greatest tragedy of all.
What is?
That I am not here with both my sisters visiting our mother. That one must be taken, that there is such great imbalance between us. And he will turn back to the grave and say, "I will visit again. Soon."
As though Aletta refuses to hear that because Aletia refuses to hear that because they're frustrated in the moment hearing him say those things. They go, "Though it appears now that I keep such distance with you, brother, it was not my doing that caused us to be so far away."
I know. The most I can do now is be here with you. I am trying, Alessia.
Are you?
For the first time in my life, I am trying to be here for you, for Vesperine, for anyone. You must forgive me if I'm out of practice. I extend that same grace to you.
Right. Because for those 3 years, I was left alone. Well and completely. And you wonder why my teeth are as sharp as your furry friends. Suppose we take after each other more than we think.
Hmm. I suppose we must.
Yes, I had to.
You've done. No. No, I won't say anything to that. I'm sorry.
Sorry, you clicked out. What did you just say?
Yeah, I'm getting quiet and it's just not picking up.
No, your whole. I don't know if maybe it was my internet. My computer's been having an issue.
Okay, I said I started saying something that I don't quite remember, and then said no, I won't. I'll leave the last word to you.
Unless you did before, brother.
But before she can leave, she hears the voice one more time saying, "Oh, Aletia, you've never been alone."
This time they say out loud, breaking chests at my expense.
If that's what you think this is, then I'm sorry. Truly. Please. And he will stand up, turn to face you, and like look you in the eyes, and with your permission, move in for a hug.
As a player, I am fully accepting, but the body language that Aletia gives is like at first completely tense. That's the word I was looking for. Completely tense body. But if you hold on to her longer, and you don't have to, but if you were to, they would actually relax and you would find that their grip on your coat is incredibly tense. Sorry for the wrinkles.
No.
They bury their face in your shoulder.
And I think we'll just stay there for as long as we need.
I
And
think so. Yeah,
Excellent.
thank you.
So
Thank you so much, both of you.
wonderful. Also, welcome, Kaya. At the end of that scene, what from the list would you like to see next? Or do you want to loop Vesperine into anything in the list?
Kaya, can you see the list?
I cannot see the list. I would like to.
It's in comments.
It's in comments. Can you see previous comments?
Oh, I can see the
Before
list.
we got there.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Hey, all right.
Awesome. Because I didn't see it in private chat. It is in comments. Let me read real quick.
All right, no problem. Oh, when Kaya comes in, a scene with Emmerich and Vesperine, maybe another scene with Adelbert. Okay. We can fit that in, no problem.
I would love to see any of these scenes. If we want to do a Vesperine or Emmerich scene too, whatever you guys want to add to the list, I'm
A
happy
minor
for that.
housekeeping note while we're out of play. Some of you may have noticed I've been playing around with the sheet a little bit. I had been saying I wanted to add a certain kind of big bad spectral connection, but was having trouble figuring out the formatting on the sheet to make it tidy and usable. I am starting that process. I'm working on that. So
Okay.
I see
yes.
her.
Yeah. So when the time is right, this particular spectral connection may reveal themselves.
Just for my clarification, this scene with Casimir and Alethea was the only scene that you guys have played through so
This
far?
was the first scene of
Okay,
the
awesome.
chapter. Yes. So I think something with Vesperine and Emmerich is a good camera pan to follow this up. What exactly did you have in mind between Emmerich and Vesperine, Isabella?
Oh, so the Vesperine scene is the tea time
Yes.
that I had informed my brother that yes, I will go to tea with your wife. No one needs to hang yet.
Okay. So you want
Uh,
Aletia, Vesperine, and Emmerich.
Yeah. Well,
I assume the
I-
Emmerich scene is separate.
Oh,
yeah,
I
those
see.
are
Okay.
separate.
Oh, they're separate.
Yeah.
We have a
things, I
lot of
see.
things to clarify, me and Emmerich.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
my own
Do you?
housekeeping.
I can't imagine why.
I
Uh,
can't
Strange.
imagine all. I have no idea whatsoever.
Do you want to break though before jumping into another scene of acting, or are you good to do 2 in a row?
Good, but if
Alright,
there's something else
let's-
anybody else wants to do, I'm good too.
let's do Aletia and Vesperine at tea.
Sure, sounds good.
I got it as a teacup.
Raz, one more little housekeeping thing. I don't know if you know, but when you're typing, it actually comes out really loud, and it.
I did not know that. Most of
So
the
y-
software I use has noise canceling, and so I am used to not being audible. So I will mute while I type. So thank you for letting me know. I had no idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. At first, actually, I thought it was. I thought it was Chris doing the footsteps, and then I realized, so that's not what was going on.
No, that was me, and thank you for letting me know. So, all right. Set the
I don't
scene.
make noise actually.
Yeah.
Let me just grab a little tea cozy.
No worries. I took off my sweater because it's hot inside the house.
Yeah, I just don't. I try not to make as much noise, but that bringing that up makes me go, oh, soft surfaces between porcelain would be nice. Okay. So I don't know what this tea place looks like. Did you have an idea, Kayadia? Because I can add details, but I wasn't sure
I
if you had
imagine
an
it is
idea in your head.
inside, considering it is winter. But of course, the windows are open, so we can look upon a blanket of snow. You know what I mean?
I love that.
for the atmosphere. But yeah, I think it's probably somewhere nice and cozy inside. I mean, given that it was recommended by my very stern, strict teacher, it is probably like a place of high esteem. So it is rather fancy.
Okay, so we've got dark wood stains, we've got a roaring fire, we've got all that. We have
Absolutely.
comfortable plush, what are those things called? You move into them really awkward.
Sofas?
Booth seats.
Boot seats, got it.
Booths. You know, the
Yes.
booths. Yeah. But these are made with fabric cushions, so
Indeed. Yeah.
and the china is all Limoges from France, from Haviland, France.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Which is true for me right
They've
now.
got they've got a bunch of fancy pastries brought out for us as well.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. I think Vesperine is definitely like she started uncomfortable. I think she was, but then as you guys are entering the tea house, I think together she relaxes a little bit. I think probably the corner.
It's just me.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it could be a letter too. We'll find out.
Cool. Yeah, no. And I think you guys probably end up drifting to a private spot, the both of us, just on instinct. I think.
If that's the case, then Aletia is going to ask for a uh, a private area and a curtain.
Yes,
We can get privacy curtains. That is the way it is.
indeed. Vesperine sort of hides a laugh and nods and says, "Yes, I think that would be preferred."
Yes, considering they are trying to put on the facade of smile because public.
Yeah. Vesperine has managed to smile. I think it was just when you guys were in the carriage, like the beginning stages, like moving over, she was. But now she feels, I think, a little bit more in her element. So she'll slide into your privacy curtain table, our privacy curtain table.
I'll put up after we get it. You don't have to do it weird. So we're good.
Yes. Isabella, I'm so sorry for this. But
what?
Vesperine, as soon as the tea arrives and like after she's taken like only 1 or 2 sips, just turns and is like, "So, my dear sister-in-law, are you in love with that priest?" Because to be frank, she's like looking at the curtain window and then like lowering her voice again. That was the happiest I've seen you ever. The only other time that came close was when you found that black widow's nest by your garden.
So I take it you equate smiling with love, and perhaps I should smile more fully with you and my brother, should I not? Or does that no longer equate because I do not smile often at home? Your rationale is illogical. And I was smiling because I was dancing. Something I don't get to often do.
Well, I apologize for the assumption. It's true, I haven't ever really seen that expression on your face. I wanted to ask because, well, if you are in love with the priest, I mean, there's many things to be done about that. If you wanted to convince him to break his vows, I'm sure you could.
Vesperine, darling, what you are saying is quite unscrupulous and scandalous. I hadn't thought you were like that.
Oh, Alethea, I know exactly what you think of me. I am a poor
Do
country
you?
bumpkin who has married your brother and keeps pushing her nose into all of your business.
Oh, I don't think you're a poor country bumpkin. You forget. I don't think much about class differences. If you believe any of the rumors and who I have acquainted myself with. So I do insist you drop that line of thought. That and any affections I could have for a priest. Truly, that is something I hadn't expect to hear. Especially to say out loud in public, even if there is a privacy screen between us and the world.
I think Vesperine sort of tilts her head and goes quiet before she nods. Fine. I apologize. I just feel like I like secrets as much as the next person, which is to say, I don't like them very much, but I'll keep them if they're needed. And honesty is sometimes needed in between.
Honesty is good, Very well and good. However, gaining one's trust is more important, don't you think? And from what I have witnessed, well, dear sister-in-law, I can only judge by what I see.
How do you expect me to earn your trust, then? What is it exactly you want from me?
Same thing I want from most people is silence.
I'm
However,
not
we are
one.
all gifted with mouths and we all talk quite often. Morty, dear.
Yes, please and thank you.
They do take their time to fill the pot. And as they're doing so, say, what I truly do want is someone I can depend on, someone I know, not to say such ridiculous, scandalizing gossip derived from, well, mere interactions. It's really vulgar. Drink your tea.
I am drinking my tea. I understand where you were coming from. Frankly, where I lived, I mean, who did I have to gossip with? My father? No,
Oh, at that moment, you do get just a breeze of that scent showing disapproval. Continue, sorry.
No, you're good. He wasn't one for that sort of uh, speaking at all, really. In any case, I know not to cause too much of a scandal. I just really. I don't understand you, you know. I've married your husband, and I understand. I've married your brother, he's my husband. But,
Drastically different, yes.
Vespering waves her hands around. I am your family now, whether you want me to be or not.
You're under the assumption I do not want a sister. I find that rather sad. Because if there is one thing I want more than anything in this world is a sister, which they are specifically meaning Aletta.
I
Go ahead.
was just gonna say, she does know that you have a dead sister, right? That's not a
I don't
secret.
think that one's been omitted.
Yeah, I don't think that was a secret.
Yeah, no, that was not a secret.
Yeah, no, I think at that Vesperine sort of like quietly puts her cup down. I cannot be a replacement for Aletta.
I'm not looking for one.
You shouldn't, just as I would not wish to be one. She was her own person, and I'm sorry that I have never been able to meet her.
She would find you interesting, that is for certain.
I am quite the troublemaker, so I've been told. Although in much different ways than you and her.
Pray tell, where did you hear these secrets, little bird?
There's no evidence, not quite, but I'm not a fool, Alethea. I ask you questions about certain things, and there are other things that should remain unspoken, yes?
Now you're getting the hang of it.
Vesperine like takes probably like a little cookie and like breaks
We
it
do
in
have macaron.
little
Yes.
macarons, breaks it in
Yes.
half, gives the other half to her.
You're breaking a macaron in
Yes.
half. Shame.
No.
Go for it.
Probably a different
Go
type
for
of
it.
cookie. I wouldn't break a macaron. Macarons are so small to begin with.
They
What
are.
is the material? What's left over? No.
That's it. Oh, we can have. Oh no, that's a mess. We're not gonna do those. We'll do uh
A Madeline?
pan au chocolat. Pan au chocolat.
Ah,
Chocolat.
yes. that's
Pan au
good.
chocolat. Yeah, those are long. Those are good.
Something that I'm wondering about as we come to the end of the... There is a question I want to ask Vesperine as we come to the end of the scene. It can wait if you're not done. If you are done, then I will go ahead. I'm unclear whether this is wrapping up or whether there's more to the scene.
Let me think for a second.
Now that we've gotten away with the pan au chocolat, it's
No,
hard to.
it's fine. Pan au chocolat is very distracting.
They
So
are.
no, I do feel like that is probably a good point.
That's
to-
a good wrap to the scene.
Yeah,
Before
they're gonna
we
probably
move
go into
on-
small talk, I think.
Before we move on, actually, this might be something to ask when Chris is around. Chris, are you here?
I've been here the whole time.
Yeah,
My faces were distracting from this wonderful scene.
Excellent. Love the spirit of teamwork at play here.
Thank you.
The question that I had for Casimir and Vesperine, especially with Vesperine coming from more out in the country, and this is a period when a lot of cultural traditions in Quebec are kind of just starting. They're not formally established yet.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a long history in Quebec of common law marriage. Like, couples just kind of cohabit, and after you cohabit for a while, you are considered to be married. I forget the $5 French word for it from Quebec. They might just call it cohabitation. I'm looking into it,
That is.
but I am wondering, is there a degree of scandal to Vesperine and Casimir's marriage because it's not formalized, perhaps? If that is the spicy element that you don't want to introduce this late in the game, then that is fine. But it occurred to me while I was researching other stuff, and I was like, oh, actually, that would be really interesting.
This does open the
Don't think-
possibility to have a wedding, which
I forgot that I was talking to Good Society players.
Do
For a
we
minute,
want
it's like,
to do?
I suggest the scandal of a common law marriage, and one of the solutions is, well, they should just get married, so we
Yeah.
can have an event chapter.
where
Also, it would
You're not
work
wrong.
because Casimir hasn't gone to church very well, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
so that would
this
might be
We're
why
basically
they
being
are
fiancés.
Oh, this is really good. This is really good. Okay.
I do like the idea of that. We are married, in which we have not actually.
Oh yeah, no.
So I'm
I
wondering
like
if
that,
Aletia.
actually.
I'm wondering if Aletia's venom is from the way that Vesperine is throwing around the word husband, and Aletia is more traditional, like, he's not your husband, you slut.
Kaya, do you want that? If not, that's fine. But if you do, it could be fun.
I think it is fun. I would like. I'm pretty. As long as Vesperine and Casimir are also on the same page, if they do
Oh
come,
no, 100%.
they are.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, as long as the
I
two
wanna
of
make
them
sure
are on the definite agreement, we might not be married in church, but we're married. If everyone else is like they're not married, that's a
Yeah,
different
no,
problem.
but
So I'm gonna be
Here I am
expecting.
moving you into my house.
I'm gonna be expecting more of a country twang from Vesperine in future sessions.
I don't know how to do French
That's
country.
fine.
I can
No,
do
that's fine.
regular country.
That's fine.
The actual Quebecois accent is the most horrible sound I've ever heard in my entire life. So
It's so funny. I speak French. I grew up in France, and I cannot understand Canadian. I cannot understand the Quebecois accent. I just like there was once I was sort of I mean, I was sitting at the table next to him, so it's not like I was eavesdropping, right? There were 3 people speaking with a Quebecois accent, and the 4th person spoke with a French accent, and I only understood what that person said. Like, they were definitely speaking French. I could tell because I understood every word that person said, and I just can't. It doesn't land in my ears the same way.
Tu te fais apprendre le joual.
I remember
Yeah,
my
What?
French teacher actually said,
Laura's like, what?
Tu te fais apprendre le joual. Joual
Le
is
joual,
the,
je connais pas le mot.
joual est
"Oh, nice word."
le dialecte de Montréal et Québec. It's like the register or dialect or slang of Quebec. Joual.
Joual. Okay, that was a word I did not know. The rest of it, I understand you beautifully, right?
My French is dog shit these days, so that's good.
Some practicing, you know?
Yeah.
That's what this is for.
Especially since I keep emphasizing on cover letters, oh, hey, I speak French, and that's why you should hire me.
Yes.
That's the realest shit in the fucking world. Let me tell you.
It is. Yes.
Anyway, I think in terms of the next scene, this is a really good moment to pivot to Adalbert and Hercule. Get the camera away from the house just for a while, or away from the family. So, Chris is doing the actor thing, getting into character. It's a sight to behold.
It's wonderful. I was like, I know I
Masterful.
recognize another theater kid.
Yeah.
And
I'm just going to run off and get more tea, but I will be right back because I do not want to miss this.
I do.
Yeah,
I gotta watch my
let's do a short.
Let's do 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's do a 5-minute bio break. See you then. Also, I didn't mean to knock you off your pedestal while you were getting ready. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm here. I just needed to
See you in 5. Hello. Not sure who else we're waiting on, but I'm back at least.
Hello. Salut. It is cold out, but I've worked myself up from excitement so that it warms, so it's kind of really ridiculous. Even though I'm not actually wearing as many layers as it seems like I'm wearing. I'm wearing chemise and stays and all that stuff, but like it's not really as much as I should probably wear. It is cold. It will probably get cold again in like 5 minutes because
Put
that's the way
a
it works.
fancy outer coat on. Put a fancy outer coat on.
I do have my great grandmother's fur stole, and that would work.
What part of Italy are you in? Out of
Well, I'm not
curiosity.
in Italy. I
Oh.
was born. Okay, funny story. My family, both sides of my family. My father's from Sicilia, uh, in like the Capo. Gosh, where is it? He's very shh about his origins, because he's Sicilian.
No.
That's the thing. Don't ask. Well, my other half is from Monfredonia. We emigrated to the U.S. and then we got my dad when he was a baby got sent back. That was awkward. Um, but my great grandfather's side took my grandmother and her children back to Italy. My parents met there, and we were born in like Monfredonia, and I grew up in Todo. So, which is like where Ribabianca is.
Yeah.
And then I moved to the US, so I'm technically an American.
Okay. I'm not sure how I got in my head that you were located in Italy, but
Because I don't know.
yeah. It might have been that a lot of the games I played with you have been with European players to accommodate a European time zone. I think I just kind of lumped you in with that crowd in my head.
That and I'm one of those very loud Italians. It's kind of true.
No.
I don't do much for that stereotype. I'm ridiculous. I'm passionate and I'm ridiculous.
You're not
it's true.
loud. You're not loud. I've barely noticed you this game.
Oh. I guess
You bring-
I'll have to just.
Ridiculous.
You bring
exactly
honor
the
to
right energy.
everyone.
Yes.
Aww. Well, I meant it more like usually though I am like very sedate. I'm usually very much like, don't notice me, please, goodness, I cannot handle it. But once I'm on stage, I'm like, oh, this is a totally different person. So that's why I enjoy costuming and really acting out my parts when we do roleplay games.
Absolutely.
So
Fantastic.
now that everyone's back, let's get started with Adalbert and
Right,
Hercule.
shit.
Yeah.
Hercule cracking his shoulders to get the confession really serious.
No. No, that's me because of my bad loose bones. Hang on.
You okay?
There we go.
Excellent.
So how do you want to open this scene?
I think Adalbert has come to see Hercule for advice about various things, but was not specific about what.
Of course. Let me check my rumors tab real quick.
It's not in the rumors tab, but I think it's not in the rumors tab, but I think Adalbert dancing with Aletheia has probably, we can assume it's gotten around that if you want Hercule to know about it in like an authority figure sort of way, it would make sense. It's up to you. So yeah, I come in and I think Adalbert truthfully is a bit scared of Hercule because Hercule is so much more confident in his faith, so much more knowledgeable as a priest. And he's kind of my superior, and so just comes in very meekly. Thank you for meeting with me.
Of course, Cure. It's always a pleasure.
I was hoping to get your advice about a parishioner that I've noticed has undergone some strange experiences recently.
How strange.
Well, my brother hosted a ball at the estate recently, and I attended to support him, and I
Maintained your vows.
yes, naturally.
Hmm.
There was a woman who recently came back to the city, lives in our parish, who I've known for some time. And there's this particular dance that seemed to change her drastically.
Hmm.
It was as if another person was on the dance floor. It was beyond what one could normally account for with just lively music and good companionship. There's something very unsettling about it.
An accusation of possession is a serious thing, Cure.
I'm not making any accusations. I'm just telling you what I saw and asking if you will help me look into it.
I will do my duty. And I trust that you shall do the same.
Naturally, Hercule.
Ah, fuck, what would my title be?
You're also a cure.
Okay. Cure Roi.
Naturally.
I am available if you need to take confession as well. Well,
Adalbert kind of pauses for a moment because he was about to get up and go. And he's going to give a kind of half confession. He says, we'll go through the ritual and say, well,
yeah.
the woman in question that I mentioned is someone I care very deeply about. We were betrothed at one time before I took on the cloth. Seeing her endangered like this is a struggle for me, truthfully.
Your struggle is virtuous, Cure. But I will say this on the house Corriveau. That which does not know the light of God cannot be suffered. It can only be driven out.
There's a huge lump forming in Adalbert's throat, and he nods, says nothing, just, thank you, Father.
And you.
that is a good end to the scene. I am a little frightened at how effectively you play this character.
I told you
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had plans.
Yeah, that's... Man,
Bravo.
shit.
Thank you.
It was really good. Let's pivot. Continue outside the family, or outside the house. I think based on the other stuff we had on the list, the thing that makes the most sense to me is Casimir and Titus.
Yes. Okay. Hang on.
Because
Let me get some more water.
Casimir and Titus can lead into a bunch of other stuff, especially if you want to do this thing where you're hiring Titus to be the gardener.
Well, I would never do that outright.
Ah.
We are of similar
Brother,
station,
you
you
can't take this.
understand.
Yeah,
Naturally.
You can't take
Titus,
this away from
that
me.
is.
Well, let me rephrase. If you want to do this thing where Titus thinks he's been hired as the gardener.
No. Titus would never agree to be hired as the gardener.
No.
Titus.
Oh,
no.
I see.
No.
see.
But if Titus happens to clean up the garden while he is looking for interesting, I think that.
Or if I am to include him as on, if I am to give him a stipend from our estate for maintaining the garden staff.
It's for his work that just so happens to include maintaining the garden, right?
Yes, we just have an accidental garden hermit, and I love this.
He's not a gardener. He's an executive gardener.
He's a botanist.
He is a botanist.
Just
under
another
the
word for executive
patronage
gardener.
of the family.
Isabella, you're muted.
I just
But
see
She knows.
very.
You're muted, but your Italian sign language is doing wonderfully right now.
Yeah, it's completely translated over. I know exactly what you were saying. No words were needed. No words were needed to know what you were saying.
Oh, God. Are you okay? Okay.
Okay, I'm all in.
All right, wonderful. This is making me slightly sad that we're playing in the wrong century in Quebec, because there was a huge wave of Italian emigration to Montreal in the 40s and 50s and 60s. And Isabella
Sequel.
would just...
Part two. Part 2.
Yeah, Isabella would just slay. Yeah.
We can do a season 2. Let's go. Let's go.
Anyway, so let's see Casimir and Titus.
Oh, Casimir!
Titus, old
How
friend.
delightful. Thank you so much for your note this morning. I appreciate the opportunity to come and look over your magnificent gardens. Thank you so much, my friend.
Of course.
Now, were you going to be able to introduce me to your gardener? That part was unclear to me, but I really am very interested in speaking to the man.
That is more or less why I wanted to speak to you in person. I want your expertise as a botanist. We do not currently have any staff working in the gardens.
But I saw the man just the other day when I came by.
Perhaps
Large
he was
fellow.
collecting thing from the. Perhaps he was collecting his things, or coming to harass us for back pay or some nonsense.
Huh. It's very funny because he you're going to think that you're going to think I'm losing my marbles here, old friend, but he looked just like John Bertram. I mean, I worked with that man for over a decade. And he had the same mannerism, especially that scowl. I couldn't be a byblow of his, could it?
No, it couldn't be.
Ah, well, that's just as well, I guess. Just as well.
Perhaps
Why
I
bring
should
up
reconsider.
old memories when there's so much the future has to hold?
There is no shame in reminiscence, of course, but
But you were saying you would surely I'm not hearing right. You wish to have me look over your gardens?
No, nothing so vulgar. It has merely come to my attention that you are a botanist of some esteem, and you may have use of the facilities. And I would be happy to offer them for you.
Sir,
And as it happens, we do not have a staff, so if you would make recommendations on that front, I would hear them.
misunderstand me. I would be delighted. I am. Oh, and he, with permission, grabs Casimir's hand
Go for it.
in both of his and shakes it very firmly. I truly, my friend, I'm overwhelmed. You must know that my dearest desire is to find some magnificent new plant worthy of carrying my own name. And
So
the opportunity.
Just as you're saying this, you get this overpowering but playful brush on the wind of both fungi and a few other notes of saffrons and other exotic plants that don't belong in Quebec. And from the house, I will offer you a resolve token that if it comes from the house, is a rather carousing piece of music that you relate to Bertram.
I don't need a token for that. I'm good with that. Because you're not I don't need a token. You're not possessing me. Oh,
Roz, you're muted.
My mic off. What a fool. Isabella was asking about allowing an auditory manifestation since we had agreed. Spirits show themselves visually and olfactorily. That's what the token is for. Since you're paying the token, I will allow you to use the same token to make Casimir experience this as well if you want. It's up to you.
Yes, I would. But like to Casimir, it's easily enough to be dismissed as something Aletia is playing in the house, even though it may be too rambunctious, carousing for Aletia.
Oh, so I'm not getting the smell? Am I also?
You're not.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just the music. But it's coming from the house. The smell, though, is drifting around Titus.
Oh my goodness, is it possible you have saffron growing in your garden? Do you not smell that?
Not to my knowledge, no. Nor is it, as I understand it, anything like the climate for saffron.
I would have been astonished myself. It is not. You are correct, but the scent is clear as... What? And that music. That you hear for sure.
Yes,
certainly.
No, that. Perhaps Aletia is
Why would she...
rehearsing.
The last time I saw John Bertram, right before he was felled by a massive heart attack, he was dancing a jig to that very song. Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is, my friend? It is a sign from the heavens that I belong here.
Oh my god.
That is one way
I cannot turn you down. I am overwhelmed. My only question to you is, when do I start?
Well, you understand I will have to bring this before my sister and the current executor of our estate just for the time being, but I'm optimistic. I think you could start as recently as next week.
Well, if let us shake on it then, my friend. And if you don't mind, I'll actually spend the rest of the afternoon nosing around if I could. I must find where that saffron scent is coming from.
I would not advise that. Olivia prefers her privacy this time of day, you understand.
Of course. And I would do nothing to discommode your dear sister, who I value.
I just want to check in because Isabella is saying in the chat, I can't do what I was going to do now. I can't burst his bubble. Are you comfortable with the direction this is taking?
Oh, absolutely. No,
Okay,
I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait to do what I'm going to do next.
Okay, excellent.
But he's so happy. I can't.
Yeah. I try not to interrupt as facilitator more than I have to, but I noticed that and I wanted to make sure that this was a good subversion of expectations.
Oh no, absolutely. I am loving this.
I'm quite pleased with it too. Titus is the only unhauntable person in this game, apparently.
Yes. Hold
just
my
wait.
tea. Just wait.
Fine, I can be haunted on his behalf.
All right, proceed with the rest of the scene. Thank you for.
I think we have reached.
Okay.
Casimir, is there anything else that you wanted to throw in there?
No, I'll shake on it, and I think.
Wonderful.
I shall bow myself out.
Excellent. So, I think.
Taking a snip of ivy with me.
We'll never get rid of it.
I think this folds really naturally into Aletea and Titus. Although you had just said I would not ever bother her at this time of day because, like, you'd established that she wanted privacy. So the question,
that.
Well, you kind of did, because you had said, yeah. So
that's okay. I can contradict my brother.
Well, the question that comes to mind, because the last two scenes we have on the list are Titus and Bartram, which we got a taste of, but we clearly want to do more, and Aletea and Titus. And then not on the list, there's the obvious Aletea and Emmerich, Aletea and Adalbert. So, these two Titus scenes, if we do them right now, narratively to me, kind of depend on whether Titus actually listens to Casimir. Like, does Titus go off and explore the garden anyway? Does Titus go and talk to Aletea anyway? Because he's just too curious, damn it.
I have a suggestion that can work. So the path he can take does go over towards where the house is, closer where the music is playing, and I can do what I wanted to do that I didn't want to do to burst his bubble, darn it, where he's meandering, he's able to meander, and then he hears a slam of the pianoforte and the lid slamming shut, which could startle him. And he can go to the window to investigate if he so wishes.
I think that Titus would not knowingly go against what he just said he would do, but he would certainly take the scenic route out. Because as far as he's concerned, it's a done deal. This is now his domain. And so I love that idea.
Okay, excellent. That's a good compromise.
I can add a smashing of glass if it makes you feel more urgency is needed to get him there.
Yes, perfect. Delightful.
There you go.
Okay. I am going to need another token from John Bartram because that's another non-standard manifestation, like tactile moving things around. So,
well, there's not actually anything there, but yes, I will absolutely give that resolve token. There's nothing broken.
Yeah,
it's just the sounds.
Bartram is all out of tokens, unfortunately.
For the day, right? We get them again.
Yeah, you get them again at upkeep.
Upkeep.
Yeah, you get them again at upkeep. So, proceed with Titus proceeding to the window, and give us a scene.
So, Titus is startled out of his very happy botanic contemplations by the sound of a piano forte smashing shut and glass breaking, which concerns him no end because there are fair ladies in the house. So it happens just as he passes the window to the music room. And actually, French doors to the music room?
Sure.
French doors to the
Why
music room.
not?
And so he rushes there immediately to see if he can be of some aid, and the French doors are open despite the cold, and he walks into a room that is chilled.
Letia is. You can continue. I don't want to stop you.
No. That's it. That we're good. And I don't know what he sees. He sees.
He sees Aletia on the floor with shears, because that's where I am right now, with their skirts billowing around them. And they have something in their hands that is a rather out of season flower. I don't actually know the name of this one.
He rushes to their side and to see if he can be of service, to make sure that they are not injured in any way.
Mm.
My dear Miss Mademoiselle Corriveau, are you well?
Oh, Mr. Smythe, I do believe.
Well, Doctor, but yes, indeed. How grand to see you again.
Doctor. It is grand indeed.
You must forgive my entrance. I heard a commotion. I just wanted to make sure that you were well.
All is well. All is well. I suppose that was mid-morning exaltations, if you will.
I see. Well, let me not keep you. Although I delight in your company, I am in unasked. I should, if you're sure you are fine.
Come in and yes, I am fine. All is well, as I have said. And they're cutting and cutting. Tell me, since you're here, Doctor, what should one do when they find flowers out of season and intend to grow them and let them bloom? Should I take clippings?
Yes, that is always an excellent idea. Clippings are an excellent idea in season and out. You never know when a blight might occur, and your clippings may save the entire genus, even, of the plant.
How important.
And I believe you have a green room. I saw that you had a small greenhouse. That would be an excellent place to be growing flowers that might not make it well through the difficult winters here.
That does sound quite the idea. I had always imagined putting clippings in the colds in cloth to let the flowers germinate, the seeds. Come. And they hold out their hands, waiting for you to help them up.
And of course, Titus is delighted to do so.
Attend to me in the greenhouse, and I can show you some of the delights we have there.
It would be an honor.
As we go, it's a rather twisting, winding walk, but as soon as Aletia opens the greenhouse, you are hit with the same gust of saffron and fungi and and all that stuff that you associate with Bartram.
Question. Does that
Yes.
does that olfactory apparition happen while you are still in the house or once you get to the garden?
Once we're in the greenhouse, we're inside.
Okay.
Opening the door of the greenhouse.
All right.
Yes. It's only scent I don't have to pay a result to yet.
No, it's fine. That's not why I'm asking.
Okay.
There's a detail about the house that I want to establish on your walk down from the main house to the greenhouse. On the main staircase, there is a large oil portrait of Marie-Joseph de la Corriveau, as she was before her demise. This is an important detail to establish for later. Whether Titus stops to admire it is up to him, but it is like a life-size painting of Marie-Joseph.
Titus would stop for sure to admire the painting should it be of Madame de la Corriveau holding a bouquet.
It can be. It could be her
that case?
it could be her on one of her wedding days.
Titus is clearly sees that your magnificent gardens are a family affair. I can see through generations you have put great stock into having only the finest, the most beautiful, the most fragrant of flowers.
We have had things imported, yes. Amongst other things. Grown into the grass and the dirt that we seem to have stumbled upon. It's such luck.
This magnificent portrait is of a woman who clearly had amazing taste. Do you speak the language of flowers?
I know a bit. I do have questions, actually. Some you could possibly help me with. About Hensbane, Digitalis, and one other flower that bites at the back of my brain. Cannot seem to recall it.
I myself, being a man of science, I sadly speak primarily the Latin names of flowers as opposed to the more warm and connecting language that one speaks with notes that one is giving to, for example, a beautiful woman like yourself. But I shall look up for you. Digitalis and Wolfsbane, you said?
No, I said Digitalis and Hensbane.
Ah.
Which I love that slip. Also, I believe the last I can think of. I do recall a bitter taste, but I cannot place it. I do know there was bloodroot. There is some in our greenhouse.
Well, let us go investigate, and I shall find your answers for you by the next time we meet.
Greatly appreciated.
And then we do our meandering to the greenhouse.
Yes.
Doors open.
Yes. Then you get that burst of that smell.
My goodness. It's almost as if it's almost as if my old mentor were here with us today. That the smell of saffron, there was one summer where he reeked of it.
Such an
we had many good times together. Sorry?
It's such an expensive plant to be raking out.
Yes, well, he was up to his hands and knees in it day in and day out, as was I. In fact, much of the grunt work, much of the actual finding of the plants and the digging of them up and the saving of the specimens was often left to me as his assistant. I shall let you in on a little secret. I have a nose like a pig going after truffles. I could just find a good fungus, an excellent moss. I still can't believe he didn't name one of the mosses after me. Do you know that man named 3 different things after Benjamin Franklin, the rebel? And not one for his faithful assistant? But
Pity.
it's my life's work now to find something worthy of bearing the Smythe name.
Perhaps something that hangs over like a scythe. I'm certain you can find something in our woods.
I
And they
look forward
crush
to it.
the flowers that are in their hands, and you smell not the flower that Alethea has been holding, but it drifts into your nose.
I am truly in awe of your gardens and the woods surrounding. I look forward to investigating further.
As do I. I think that's good.
Yeah, that's a good wrap to the scene. So I saw in chat that Vesperine and Casimir might be on the table.
Sure. If we have time. I know you have to get out of here.
I mean, we're not at the 3-hour mark yet.
Okay.
And so I don't need to go until we hit the 3-hour mark.
We can do it after perhaps the Emmerich Alethea scene. What scenes are we missing?
So let me write up a new list
Yeah.
in the private chat. Just a moment. Things that have been brought up. So we have Vesperine and Casimir.
Portrait
Casimir.
you mentioned did give me an idea for a scene for them too. But if Chris has any suggestions,
I think the scene I think I want out of this is Casimir like racked with anxiety over just everything, and like you probably come home to find him drunk.
Oh yes, that's good.
The list we have is Vesperine and Casimir, Alethea and Emmerich or Adalbert. Both of those have come up. And there is a haunting dream sequence with one of the main characters that I am putting at the end as facilitator after we do everything else.
Okay.
Let's do Vesperine and Casimir. Get the camera off of Alethea for a bit. Give Isabel a break. So, yeah, you had started saying the scene. He's starting to unravel.
Yeah, so I think you'll...
Is it at the main house or is it at the apartment we've prepared for you to become a Lugaroo in?
I don't know which one is better.
Flip a coin.
What did you want to do with the painting?
Go ahead.
Russ.
My soft recommendation is that this is in some area you'd prepared for transformation. Based on other scenes that we have on the docket.
Yeah, I think this would be the apartment then.
Okay, cool. What probably happens is at some point Vesperine comes home and like searches the house for her husband. He's not there. So her immediate assumption is that for whatever reason, can't get a hold of him? Well, guess he's at our apartment. And
What
so
was it you wanted to do with the portrait?
It was just going to I just thought we could set up a conversation about having the wedding. We can
Okay.
do that.
Yeah,
Specifically
that could
because
be-
you said she was
No.
dressed in the wedding garb, so
Yeah,
I thought it would be an interesting
could be it.
conversation to have by the point.
That
No,
could
let's
be-
do that next week.
That
Yeah,
could-
let's do
yeah,
that
that's
next week.
for next week. So, yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, she'll scamper off to the apartment. I would like to say this is a minor detail that I've had in my head the whole time. Whenever, I think Vesperine does carry like handcuffs on her or some sort of like small knife or something, like at all times.
Why not both?
Probably both.
There's
Yeah, no.
plenty of space to hide both in a dress.
Yeah, no. She has dress pockets with fully handcuffs and the key and a knife in the other.
Why are you bringing vampire kink into my werewolf story?
I don't know. Maybe they're adjacent to each other.
You've heard the rumors, surely.
The rumors, no. So she's just going to unlock the apartment with one hand in her pocket with a knife. Like, is he already? Opens it. Casimir, darling. Closes the door behind her.
No, come back.
Have you been
Please, I
drinking?
can't. Yes. Yes, I've been drinking. It's terrible.
There are other ways to get rid of stress, dear.
And if I find one that works.
I assume he's like thrown himself over like a chair or the
Oh,
bed.
yeah, no, 100% fainting couch. Like,
She's gonna come over and like not shake him gently, but like try to turn him around so he's not face to couch.
perfect. My sister's gonna murder my gardener.
We have a gardener now? I thought she fired.
I hired Titus on. He's
Not the doctor that was asking me about my dress. He's so nice. Why would you just hand him over to her claws?
Don't say that about my sister. She
You
can
know-
be.
In the friendliest way. I just don't think... You're the one who said she was going to murder him in the first place. Why can't I repeat it? Why can't I agree with you?
It's a family thing. You wouldn't under. Oh.
Crossing up the arms.
You should go. You should leave. He's getting really loud.
She is going to look him over to see if he really is just drunk or because I assume she has seen him transform once before.
Sure, probably once.
Yeah, not commonly, but she has seen it once. So she's just gonna look him over to see if he's just pissed drunk or if he's going to turn into something and kill her if she stays.
I think as you approach, like if you put your hands on him anywhere, he'll just like grab it and just hold, and, like the nails digging in, you know.
I think she stops moving at that, but she doesn't she's not moving away from your grip either. She just stares you down with a hard gaze.
At this particular moment,
Yes.
if Laura does not pay a resolve token for you to start transforming, I'm going to use one of my facilitator tokens.
Oh no,
It's
I'm
up to
happy to
Laura.
pay a token.
Excellent.
This is what tokens are for, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, let's move some
not
stuff around.
not to unfairly railroad the story, but like it's just too
No.
perfect. And if Laura,
No.
didn't
This is
see
exactly
it-
what we
As
I'm pretty sure.
so,
Yeah.
pay, I will go over and pay the token.
yeah, from the Lugaroo to Casimir.
I will do that, but hang on. Let me. I promise I'll do it. But let's. I want. So, Casimir has gripped Vesperine's hand, and Vesperine is staring him down. And as she does, they see eye to eye, and she notices his eyes begin to turn yellow and glint.
Wonderful. He's been into the good eau de vie.
I think as his eyes are turning yellow and she's just glaring at him for what he said, if you didn't want this to be my family business, then you shouldn't have proposed to me,
Wait, hang on. I think the Lugaroo should answer.
I was gonna say, shall the
Absolutely.
Lugaroo take over?
Yeah, the Lugaroo
Yes.
should take over at this point.
And the voice that comes out of Casimir sounds like him, except that all slurring of words has vanished, and it's a deeper register than she's heard before. And the Lugaroo says, "A proposal. How delicious. I might have a proposal for you. If you want to invite me in, I can make some of your dreams come true."
Oh.
And Chris is gone.
Chris died. Actually. Vesperine meets the eyes of the Lugaroo and not Casimir, really. And sorry, I have to think. She gives a wicked little smile, I think. If you want my soul, you're going to have to properly take it, not just use your charm and wit. I'm not going to stand down just like that.
You find me charming. You find me witty. But did you know that I can make your very dreams come true? I know what you want.
Oh, indeed, tell me.
You want a wedding.
Oh. I don't think you know me at all.
White
Wedding
dress. Actually, it would have been a new dress. It wouldn't have been white back then. New
Yeah.
dress. Flowers. Church bells ringing. Everyone looking at you, knowing that you are the wife of one of the wealthiest men in Quebec. And not just a country hussy he's picked up and dragged home. Think about it.
No. I have thought about it. What you are missing is that is my father's dream for me, not mine. What you are missing is the fact that I have silver in my pocket, and I don't mind using it on you.
Ah, Lugaroo throws his head back. Then I will leave you to your poor little empty life right now. But remember, when you do want something, you know where it can be found. Take back your drunken husband. His body is too achy, useless, heavy with drink. I'll be back.
You always are, aren't you? Even if I've only caught you twice.
Or the yellow light fades from Casimir's eyes.
Vesperine smacks him on the back a few times.
Oh yeah, no, this with permission, since this is gross, but I think there is a little bit just dribbling out. It's at a certain point, and then I go, "What did he say?"
Strangely enough, he was more better behaved than you are right now.
That's part of the idea.
Get up, get inside the bed instead of lounging on our poor sofa.
I don't think that's a good idea. Watch. He'll like swing his legs over, probably bump into you, like
Mhm.
fully overshoot, and then try to stand, teeter for like a second, and then just sit back down.
I will go fetch you some soup.
Oh, where would I be without you?
She's just gonna turn and like slam the house door behind her.
Okay.
But she
Does
will
that
bring back the
seem-
soup. She will bring back the soup, like she said.
I think the soup could be implied. I think that's seen.
Yes, I do think so, yes.
That was great. I love that.
Incredible.
All right, what else we got? Actually, do we want another break?
Thank you for that, Chris and Laura.
Deal with the devil. I was opening up the possibility. We can make a deal. I could get you a wedding, babe.
She was tempted, but it is true that that is not her desire. She was like, but way to go! Not the direction I thought the Lugaru would go with interacting with.
No, I was so
surely
surprised.
a fun one. That was flirting. Hello.
Va bene.
I just give me your soul, babe. I just like,
Give me your soul and we can get married.
Lugaru's in the soul business. Lugaru is very happy with any soul he can get.
Wow.
And we find him charming.
You're muted, Ross.
Have about an hour to go. Not too many more scenes we want to do in this novel chapter, it sounds like. So I am going to say, Alatea, do you want a scene with Emmerich or Adalbert?
I mean, I really want to see with both. It's kind of important, but I don't know which.
We can do both, but which do you want first? We probably have time for both.
Okay. I feel like it's ultra. You know what? Emmerich first. Unless, how are you feeling, Kaya? You feeling good for another scene, or do you want to rest?
I'm down for another scene.
Okay, let's do Emmerich and Alatea. Depending on how long it goes, we could do Adalbert as well.
Okay, that sounds good. I do have to check on something 1 second just because I hear shouting in the other room. So just give me one moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I'm
Watch
looking
out.
out the window is because I'm hearing screaming, and I'm like, please tell me those are children playing, not anything else. They're playing basketball, but they were screaming before. They're not my children. They're random neighborhood children.
I did not think they were your children. I was going right away to the ghost of Bertram breaking
I mean,
stuff. Like
you
that's
have
where
to.
I was going.
I just assumed you had an army of children to make your dresses for you.
No, this is all for my own blood, sweat, and tears. And I would not allow children to. Although my nephew, he does so. He wants to be fancy, as he says.
I taught my son to sew when he was very little. He found a book on how to make stuffy little fluffy Pokemon with felty Pokemons, and you had to sew, right? So I was like, this is perfect, like life skill. You can be able to put on your own buttons, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I can't sew very well, but I can stitch, a little bit. So I had to take home ec. I grew up in France. I had to take home ec, right? So I learned how to sew there. But yeah, so he learned to sew really young. I'm a big believer. Although I'm in awe of what you actually accomplished. I mean, that is just, it's
just patience and directing my fidgetiness in one direction.
phenomenal.
And my imagination, because work does not allow me very much imagination. So
What do you do for work? Out of
I
curiosity.
work 3 different jobs. I will say one is very late at night with a lot of dead people.
Ah,
Yes,
okay.
Oh yeah.
yes. I mean, it does go into the day too, but it depends on the schedule.
Hi.
I swear I'm not a mafioso. No, I'm mafioso.
No.
No.
Hi.
I think
Hello.
I think I know what job you're talking about late at night with a lot of dead people. And
Oh, are we
you
guessing
fit
what
the vibe.
Isabella's job is again?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be weird or to pry. It just
No,
the
no,
way
you're
that you
not.
describe it is so evocative. Uh,
I'm glad. I'm glad. The other job involves power tools and fire and making sure people do not themselves because they don't listen. Although I
Hmm.
work with a lot of power tools.
all
Right.
right.
It's fun.
So sorry about that. My grandfather is currently in hospital, and my mom is heading over there to help right now. So,
Hmm.
all right.
You're good? You okay?
Yes, we're good. I don't know what's happening, but we are good. I
long as you
appreciate
are.
the concern.
As long as.
Sorry, let me turn my brain back to RP. Oh yes, so Emmerich and Alethea, where is this taking place? Do you
We will
think?
be in the house. The
Okay,
house.
did she invite him over, or
You can storm in.
okay? I was like,
that,
was this
lady.
an invite, or does he storm into the house?
I would enjoy a storming in. What the fuck was that scene from Emmerich? Actually,
No, that's definitely what I
Please.
was thinking, but I wanted to ask for clarification. Okay,
You are
cool.
more than welcome.
All right. Then one fair winter morning in this timeline, the front doors to Maison de la Corriveau slam open, and it's a loud enough noise that Alethea can hear from whatever room she is in.
I am in the grand room with the portrait in the background.
Oh, of course you are. So if you're in that
I
room,
am.
he storms right up to you. Then you see him coming from a mile away. That smell of, what did we say it was? Like June berries or something. Let me look.
Yeah, juniper.
Yes, juniper berries. Yes, trailing on the wind. Emma
Which
comes
is funny because they're meant for banishment
in.
and cleansing.
Incredible.
Mhm.
Emmerich, I think, to anyone's eyes, looks like a very finely polished gentleman, but there's a sort of wild look in his eyes and his hair that looks like there's rage behind it, and I think a little bit of heartbrokenness too. Alethea, I need to speak with you.
Yes, of course. And they do put the book down. They will offer the chair, but I pay you a resolve token to get down on your knees.
Sure.
All right. Oh no, I've been signed out. Why? Okay.
just immediately taking the wind out of Emmerich's sails. Cool. Love resolve
Yes.
tokens.
Just immediately. No, she'll point to the chair, and he completely ignores it and just gets on the ground. I think right next to her, like that close to comfort, and like puts his hands probably like on where her knees would be, like through the fabric.
Absolutely. I'm just having issues with the document. There we
go. Okay.
I already added Emmerich's token to him. So.
Okay, I took mine away just now.
Okay, perfect. We're all good then, mechanically. Is there a reason you are so passionate about not making this work? Is there a reason you wish to shame our possible union at every turn?
What have I actually done to merit this? It was a dance.
With the one person you shouldn't have danced with, you danced with.
I did. But it meant nothing. Shouldn't you be confident in that?
It didn't look like it meant nothing.
Am I supposed to keep my dour face at every turn?
No. I would love to see your face alit with happiness. But not for another man. Which was.
And you think... Go ahead. Continue your tirade.
I think actually the continue your tirade does take the wind out of him.
I love that. Hadn't meant for that to happen, but if your hand is still on your face, because I'm just going by your emoting here.
Yeah, I think one like just drops from your clothes and the other one does go to his face.
If you're all right with it, then Aletia will take a moment and do something they don't often do anymore. I don't think they often touch anyone without purpose, and this is very purposeful, but they slip their hand first over your wrist, if you're good with it,
Mm.
and then into your hand to clasp it and to bring it down to press against, like right here. Do you really have no confidence in me and what I do? Do you think I am so shameful that I cannot face the man that I once loved, who I am not allowed to anymore? And do you think that your manner, your pushing, your forcefulness in this manner, and jealousy, what will make my face light up? Emmerich, it's not the way.
No, I do not think it will, but no, there is no excuse for my behavior either. I know this. I want this to work, and I cannot help but feel betrayed, even though I shouldn't. If you say it meant nothing, then I believe you.
It has to mean nothing. And they say that very particularly, which isn't it meant nothing, it has to mean nothing.
Yeah. The hand.
I'm just filling in the blanks just in case.
Yeah, no. The hand that Alethea is holding squeezes tight. And I think in that moment, as she makes eye contact with Emmerich, there is that glint of knowing in his eyes where the anger has faded. But as he lets go of her grip after that one last squeeze, he just folds his hands together over his lap. I understand. The public will not. My family will not.
What will you?
Emmerich gets off the floor, I think, finally, and like dusts his pantsuits off.
Are they buff breeches or are they breeches? Which the buff breeches are the new ones, and the breeches are the full length before. Oh no!
I think they're, like I said, he's dressed like proper gentleman, so I think it is like,
They're both.
yeah. Yeah, and so he'll wipe the dust and the cobwebs question mark off of his pants. Let us be seen about the town together soon. Let us attend more events and more socialization together. That is my request, Alethea. Please.
I don't mean to make this difficult for you. However, I will not back down in what I require of you, which you still have not met. Faith in me. You listen to the rest of the world. I assume it must be the rumors. I know what you know. What would happen on those mountainsides all those years ago? But I also know, if I cannot tell from your outbursts, that even though I asked you to be careful how you digest information from the rest of the world and to communicate with me first that you believe that there is more to what others say rather than what words come out of my mouth. I ask you to revisit that conversation for me. And I shall do as you ask. I'm not a difficult person. You can make me yours. You also know how I tick in some ways. Suppose right now it is a matter of you figuring out how to allow it to tick and then make it chime, as opposed to say it is faulty.
Emmerich listens to this all with rapt attention. And I think his eyes, as you are near, as your speech drones on, slowly drift to the portrait on the wall of your dearly departed mother, in that wedding garb, that wedding bouquet. And I think his shoulders cave in a bit. You know that, not necessarily with relief, but I think with resignation, I think is the word.
If that's the case, they see that and take note of, I think, the general gist that this is not relief, but resignation. And Alethea gets up, goes to him, puts his face in their hands, if you're all right with it, and says, "It does not need to be difficult, but you would make it equally so as I
apparently make it for you.
Emmerich, I think, lays his own hands upon yours and sort of leans into the touch, I think.
Awesome. Wonderful. Then the just so we're not both doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll move their hands to your chest.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I can't get this out of my mind.
No, I get it. Let us. I will do better. I will do better. I promise you. Let us go back into the mountain too. Just us, one day. Is that not the ultimate show of faith?
They hadn't expected him to say that. And a part of them would really like to go, but then the part of them that's wondering about the woods and where they were found with Aletta dead makes them stop. And you could see that they look hesitant, and then they just say, and they realize too what this all means. So there's like so many layers, and they say, maybe we'll show you. I think that is a good place, unless you want anything else.
That's a good place to wrap. Looking at the time we have left, I think that haunting sequence that I mentioned earlier is actually going to happen second to last, not last, and then we're going to close with Adalbert and Alatea.
Sounds good.
So,
thank you.
This scene is going to open with Alatea preparing to go to bed for the night, passing by the portrait. And as you retire for the evening, Alatea, you find that you go to sleep uncommonly quickly. And as you drift off, the room is consumed with the smells of the road. Like, you can smell horses and kind of the smell of wind that smells a little bit like rain. It's all very earthy, smells turning acrid with decay. It's familiar but sour and unpleasant and uncomfortable. And a tinge of rotting flesh at the edges. And you enter a dream where you're still in your room, but you hear a lot of activity downstairs. A whole host of voices. This feels different from most dreams. You feel particularly lucid and in control. So it's not just going to be me monologuing and telling you what you experience. You are able to react and different things. So how do you proceed?
So if I'm still on the road,
No, you're in your bedroom now.
I'm in my bedroom.
Those smells are there, but you're in your bedroom,
Okay.
and you can hear lots of voices downstairs, lots of
All right,
commotion.
So then Aletia will absolutely get out of bed and slowly creep to the door, avoiding every creak they remember as a child from their room all the way downstairs through the foyer
As you get to
past
as you get toward the stairs, you notice it's getting really hot in here. Like, uncomfortably stuffy and hot. As if the ventilation for a stove or a furnace has been blocked up.
Mm.
And,
That.
go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll remember the thought.
Yeah, you arrive at the portrait and see that it's on fire.
Oh, good.
And
Because I was going to say that made panic.
There are a lot of things happening in the painting, actually. Your departed mother, La Corriveau, is dancing around the flames that are both kind of surrounding the physical painting itself, but there's a fire in the image. She's dancing around this fire with a lot of people that you think you recognize, but you can't quite place their faces. Everything just looks very distorted.
I think at first, feeling like this is a dream, their reaction is to panic, of course. However, they go closer to the flame, unafraid for a moment, until it feels too real. And they can't quite make out the faces, and the smoke gets in their nose and causes it to be difficult to breathe. And so they go instead to the window and pull and pull and pull at the heavy velvet curtains to tear them down with a shred
They feel
until they go
like
back to. Go ahead.
the curtains feel like they're made of iron. They won't move. As she circles around the fire again, La Corriveau turns and looks outward at you. You see that the face you were pretty familiar with, not just because you knew her, but also because you walk by it every day, is rotting and decaying. It's pitted where birds and maggots have eaten at it.
They're still desperate to stop it. They think if they can get the fire out, that they could stop. It's like that dream logic.
Mm-hmm.
They at first go to bang on the painting to shout to stop, but then I think they feel a burn, and then because the curtains will not tear down so they can hit it, if everybody is okay with nudity, good.
Sure.
They pull off their nightgown and start slamming it against the painting to stop it, and they're shrieking for it to stop and to let her go.
The chemise starts to catch fire and spread fire throughout the house as La Corriveau cackles at you from inside the painting. And the sound of this uncanny laughter fills your ears and just consumes you as the fire spreads everywhere, and you start to exit the dream. You start to wake up.
They wake up feeling too hot, burning. They just can only dream of her burning and them burning and the fire eating them up. And it causes them to actually cry out. And when they bolt up and notice that they're not burning, they immediately stumble to the water pitcher, and they pour it over their head to stop the feeling of burning. So that the cold water rest them.
Yeah. The final cinematic detail is, as you look up, the tree outside your window, bare of leaves because of the winter, is casting a silhouette uncannily like the cage La Corriveau was put in at that crossroads.
angry, Aledia throws the water pitcher at the wall.
I think that's a good wrap for that scene. Excellent.
Thank you. That was wonderful.
So, what would you like for this final scene with Adalbert? I had cast it this way because I had a feeling she would want to talk to him after this.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that's a good assumption.
I think this scene makes sense if you go to the church, because, like, after what's happened, he's not coming to your house.
I doubt that. I like that. So yes,
Yeah.
she'll go to the church.
He's-
She has a mantle over her features.
He's milling around the sanctuary and then notices you and is a little taken aback. Waits for you to approach him.
After noticing his hesitation, which is warranted by all those letters and the dance, they purposefully stride up to him and say, I don't know how to do this, but I still need to speak to you. Certain you realize how difficult it is for me to step in this place.
Yes, of course. Come into the courtyard, won't you? And Adalbert sits a respectful, chaste distance away from you on another bench.
Whole way on another bench. Wow.
Two bros sitting in a courtyard 5 feet apart because they're not in love.
No. Because Aletia thinks this is ridiculous, they do get up and they stand in front of him. Come now, don't be childish.
I'm not being childish. I'm living up to my commitments.
Wonders never cease. I suppose this is the part where I say, forgive me, fathers, for I have sinned.
It is unorthodox for me to take a confession from someone with whom I am so intimate.
You never had issue before.
People were never watching the way they are now before.
I would rather not go into the dark with you. I know that would facilitate things easier for me.
What is it that you need from me?
I don't know, to be honest. This is not something... You remember my nightmares? I would tell you.
You
Do you?
mentioned them, yes.
I'm having them again. The fires. I'm getting worse and worse and worse, and I can't stop it. And she mocks me like everything else. And I burn. Little bit, I burn.
He stands up, places a hand on your shoulder in a distinctly paternal way, not in a romantic way.
They, because this does bother them, if you're okay with it, they push your hand gently off.
Yeah. Appropriate. Now Delbert kind of doesn't pay that any heed, just says, there is another here who may be able to help you better than I can.
Oh. Oh, you mean someone else entirely. Living and breathing, hopefully. Like, that was so out of character for Lethia. That's definitely wanting to have you noticed. Well, then who is it?
It's my superior, Père Roy.
What? Mm.
He's not as public a face as I am here, but when it comes to matters of such seriousness like this, I think his knowledge is superior to mine.
I did not come here for the advice of a priest.
Whose advice did you come for, then?
Yours.
He just kind of pulls down his cloak to make the collar more visible in a pointed way.
I'm not looking for religion, Adelbert. Excuse me, Cray. As you so choose to be called.
I want to help you, but these are the tools that I have to do it.
I will not be subjected to the church. I refuse. You'd have better luck with my brother.
Yes, I suppose you're right. He starts to turn toward the entrance back into the nave.
You're the only one who knows.
This secret is becoming heavier than I am able to carry, Aletheia. If you require my help in the ways that I am able to give it to you, you know where to find me. And he heads back inside. I think that's seen, if that works for you.
It does. Gosh, and I thought here that my mascara was going to be safe today.
Yeah, that was an excellent button on the novel chapter.
Yay!
So, yeah. Let's do a quick... Well, we're late enough that we could do Reputation and Rumor and Scandal if we want. I also kind of need to get going.
I say
Do you
skip
mind? Yeah, let's save those for next time. Let's get off the broadcast and do Stars and Wishes. So, bye, Chloe. See ya.